Last time, did we finish the entire lesson under question answers of lesson 1 data? Okay. Now we need two options. We can do the interesting lesson from we have books. Without me. Let's do the first lesson from this. The triumph of surgery. Have you done this in school? Already, so let's catch up with this and then we will do. If you still have time, then we will do two small ones. Have you done those also in school? Great. We still have it. We can do it today itself. Oh no, you don't number. The next, I thought we had a serious lesson, so we'll do one light lesson. Last time we did the serious lesson, so I thought we'll do a light lesson now. Actually, I want to do analytical writing and what we very good together. I'm not sure that then we one day will have a problem. Yeah. That's right. Now, this is a very interesting lesson. So basically, it tells us like how too much of anything is bad. This is a story of this dog. He had a rich and very, very loving and indulging owner. She would keep on feeding him. Keep on feeding him unnecessary fingers. And as a result, he had become very fat. And the veterinary doctor, he tried telling her that get the more exercise and less food, but she wouldn't understand. Even if he was fat, she would think he is weak and she would keep on giving him some additional supplements to get his. And because he was overweight, he had become very, very lethargic and he couldn't move faster and he was falling sick. One day he started throwing up and the doctor took him to his own hospital. He kept him there, told the owner that the dog will have to undergo a surgery. Did he really operate on the dog or he just changed? What method did he employ? Just diet. Just changed his diet and gave him lots and lots of exercise, activity basically. So that's the story of triumph of surgery. He did not operate on him. He did not undergo, the dog did not undergo any surgery just by change in the diet. That means change means less diet. So we gave him less diet, less food, and the dog was fine. Let's see. To keep a small dog is pampered and overfed by his rich mistress. He falls seriously ill and his mistress consults a veterinary surgeon. Does he perform an operation? That's the dog dog. I was really worried about Chicky this time. I pulled out my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress and I was shocked at his appearance. He had become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage with a leg at each corner. His eyes, bloodshot and roomy, stared straight ahead and his tongue lolled from his jaw. What did he look like? What did Ricky look like? Yeah. Looked like a bloated sausage with 4 legs at the end. Mrs. Pumphrey hastened to explain. He was so listless Mr. Harriet, he seemed to have no energy. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition. So I have been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up. Some malt and cod liver oil and a bowl of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. Nothing much really. However, the doctor asked me, what do you feed? She says, what is the mistress' name? What is Tricky's owner's name? And she was so listless. I thought, and he seemed to have no energy. Did he not have energy because was he listless because he did not have energy? No. Instead of overnutrition, he was overweight, and therefore he was listless. And he thought he's listless, he's not moving because he does not have enough energy. And in order to give him energy, what did she give him? Some extras like cod liver oil, malt, and I have like Horlicks so that it makes him sleep. So imagine things that she was feeding a dog to give it extra energy. And did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? Oh, I did for a week, but but he seemed to be so weak. I had to know. He does love clean cakes and chocolates. I can't bear the reviews on better reviews. She even feeds him sweet things. Actually, dogs are not. Sugar is very bad for dogs. It's a processed food. Sweet things, you're not supposed to give sweet things. So, but then she doesn't follow all these rules. Whatever she likes and whatever probably she thinks is good, she gives it. I looked down again at the little dog. That was the trouble. That his only fault was greedy. It had never been known to refuse. He would tackle the moon at any hour of the day or night. And I wondered about all the things Mrs. Mummy had mentioned. Hadn't mentioned. I was wondering कि और क्या खिलाती है? What does she feed him more that she has not told? Are you giving him plenty of exercise? Well, he has his little walks with him as he runs. Okay, the gardener has been down with her back, so there has been no ring to meet. I tried to sound serious. Now, I really mean this. If you don't put this food right now and take the whole exercise, he's going to be really ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a night spirit. So, what advice does the doctor give him? Give her plenty of exercise. Do you have a pet? I used to have. Oh. Professor, we belong veterans. Oh, I will, Mr. Leader. I am sure you are right, but it is good, so very good. He said, head down along the road as if read a mind to put the energy into practice. I watched that progress with growing concern. Ricky was opening along with his pretend good. He had a whole wardrobe of biscuits for the cold weather and a raincoat for the wet. He struggled on, moving in his madness. I thought it wouldn't be long before I heard from Mrs. Party. Says, I watched their progress with growing concern as they were walking. He kept looking at them and when he saw them walking, he was really worried for him. Vicky was tottering with tweed coat. He had this nice coat on him. So Mrs. Pumphrey, she had stitched coat, nice coat, not one. He had a wardrobe full of coats, winter coats for him, so that he doesn't feel cold. There were raincoats for him, the dog, to be worn. And realized that the way he walked, he realized that very soon he was going to get a call from Mrs. Pumphrey. The expected call came within a few weeks. The symptom was this pretty good listener, includes even his favorite dish. And besides, he had doubts of work. He spent all his time lying on a pillow that didn't want to move or close, didn't want to do anything. I had made my plans in advance. The only one way was to get out of the house for a period. I suggested that he be hospitalized for about a fortnight to be kept under observation. The poor lady almost knew. She was sure he would fight and die if he didn't everything. But I took up on him. He was very ill, and this was the only way to save him. In fact, I found it best to take him without delay and followed by the sister please Wailings. I marched out to the car, carrying the little dog wrapped in a blanket. Okay, so as we had expected, Mrs. Pumphrey did call him. He said he's not been eating, he's throwing up, he's vomiting, and he's just sitting there. So the doctor came and he said he's very, very ill and he needs to take him to the hospital. Mrs. Pumphrey was sure that you cannot take him to the hospital because this poor dog, he would pine and die. He would miss me so much. Miss Pumphrey said that the dog would miss her so much that we will not be able to survive him. But the doctor decided that he will be very firm. He will not give in to Mrs. Pumphrey's request. And he decided, no, he's very ill. I need to take him to the hospital. So he just lifted him and took him to his car. And though Mrs. Pumphrey was wailing means crying loudly. In spite of all the drama that she was doing, he had decided that he will take the dog with him for how long? Fortnight days. The entire staff was loose and inmates rushed in and out to invade his day bed, his night frame, favorite cushions, toys, and rubber. Breakfast bound, lunch bound, supper bound. Realizing that the car would never always serve as backup driver. As I moved off, it says complete with a despairing plan to an armful of the little coats through the window. I looked in the mirror before I turned the corner out of the night. Everybody was in place. Out on the road, I glanced down at the pathetic little animal gasping on the canvas. I patted the head and quickly made great effort to wag this poor old man. You haven't updated me, but I think I know of your. So as he was leaving, the entire staff means they all started working that array, he's going, so he needs the things that he had. They said things that they said, favorite bed, his night bed, his day bed, they had 2 different beds. One for sleeping in during the day, one for sleeping in the night. He had favorite toys, rubber things. 3 different bowls, breakfast bowl, lunch bowl, supper bowl. What difference does it make? They have their sleep. But then he was like, given plenty. He realized if they start selling things like this, things will not fit in his car, so he starts driving. And then Mrs. Pumphrey goes and throws few quotes for him. And then we do what happens then. At the searching, the household dog searched around. When he looked down at the noisy pack with their eyes and then put out, they motionless on the path. The other dogs, after sniffing around him for a few seconds, decided he was an uninteresting object and ignored him. At the surgery means we call it a nursing home or a hospital. They call that place a surgery. So So at his hospital, you can say, as he entered, all the household dogs, all the dogs that were there, they all surged around the husband and they came near. Checking just down on them, like what kind of dogs are these, the way they are barking and the way they are running around this person. He looked down on them. When they kept him down, how towards me, was he excited? You start the emotion with his legs. The other dog also came, they slipped around him. And then they realized that this is a very uninteresting object. ये हिलता नहीं है, भौंकता नहीं है, भागता नहीं है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा. He's not doing any action. It's a very dull, uninteresting object. So they just sniffed around him and ignored him and went in. I made up a bed for him in a warm, loose box next to the one where the other dogs slept. For 2 days, I kept an eye on him, giving him no food but plenty of water. 2 days, he did not give him any food. What did he give him? Only water, plenty of water. At the end of the second day, he started to show some interest in his surroundings. And on the third, he began to whimper when he heard the dogs in the yard. Okay? 2 days, there was no reaction. On the third day, at the end of the second day, he started to show some interest around on his face. And on the third day, and becoming alert when the other dogs, when he heard the other dogs run or bark or make some sound. Yeah. When I opened the door, the kid floated out and was immediately engulfed by the greyhound at his foot. After rolling him over and thoroughly inspecting the dogs moved down the path. The kid followed them, rolling slightly with instructor. Later that day, I was present at the. I watched while pistons drove the boat into the ground. There was the usual background rush, followed by the sound of ice skating. Every dog moved rightly. Then behind the others, he was able to have some competition for the last part of his diary. So, because the doctor was present during the meal time, each one's goal was kept. Who's Tristan? Probably the person who works for him, and he locked the food. Give everyone who wants. Lock the food in each one's goal. All the dogs ran to eat the food because everybody knew that there is competition. If he doesn't finish the food quickly, then he may not get the last morsel, the last part of the meal. Because अगर उसका बर्तन में खत्म नहीं हुआ तो दूसरा कोई खत्म करके इसका खाने आ जाए. Okay, so nobody wanted to share their meal or miss their last part of their meal, and therefore everybody ran to their goal in order to eat quickly. When they had finished, the kid looked around, walked around the shining, taking casually inside one or two of. Next day, an extra bowl was put out and I was pleased to see him jostling his way towards it. From then on, his progress was rapid. He had no medical treatment of any kind. So, how many days did he not give him food? Third day he went out, right? So, fourth day. Fourth day he opened the door and he went out with all the other dogs. 4 days. The bowl was not good for him. The bowl was for all the other people, all the other dogs. The fourth day, he just licked whatever was remaining in other, whatever in the bowls after the dogs went out. On the fifth day, he got one extra, he kept one extra bowl, which was for him. Okay, from then, his progress was rapid. He had no medical treatment of any kind, but all day he ran about with dogs, joining in their friendly accepted. Accepted member of the an unlikely silky little object among the shaggy tree, fighting like a tiger for its share are mere times and hunting rats in the old time house at night. He had never had such a time in his life. Says, see, next day an extra boulder set. When it was meal time, he too ran with other. He too jostled others and tried to run and get one goal for himself. That means he must have been really very, very hungry. From then on, the progress was rapid, very fast progress. He went down with all the other dogs, had fun, they pushed him, they bowled him over he rolled over the ground, chased the other dogs, and he was running around everywhere. The food that was given, he ate whatever food was given. There were no toys, special toys for him. He says he enjoyed fighting like a tiger for his share and enjoyed chasing those rats during the night time with other dogs. He had never had such an experience with. He enjoyed. He ran throughout the day. He played the whole day, and all the time was active. All the while, the six from play hovered anxiously in the background, ringing a dozen times a day for the gateway spirit. I dodged me 100 times during the day. She would keep calling, and she wanted to know the latest bulletin means latest news. That's it. I dodged the questions about whether his cushions were being turned regularly or his correct code was according to the rules. But I was able to tell that the little fellow was out of danger and coalescing rapidly. The word coalescing seemed to do something to Mrs. Hunt. She started to bring round her sheet, 2 dozen at a time, to build up with his. For a happy period, my partner and I had 2 eggs each for breakfast. But when the bottles of wine began to arrive, the real possibilities of the situation began to dawn down on the house. It was to enrich the people. Lunch became a ceremonial occasion with 2 glasses of wine before and several drinks. Okay. So she kept calling, how is the surgery, have you performed the surgery, is he recovering? Then he could say, yes, the surgeries are done and he's recovering and very soon he will be fine. And then she comes to know that he's recovering, what does she start doing? Started sending emails and things. Why emails and things? Build his energy. Was the egg. Did he give the eggs to the dog? Who ate the egg? They ate 2 eggs at a time. Yes, the doctor, his partner, and the staff started eating 2 eggs at a time in the living breakfast. The fun was, then she started sending wine. Why did she send wine? What was her logic? No, that was apparently to enrich, to make his blood more pure, to have his better blood. So she believed that the wine will improve his blood quality. She started selling wine. It was all the more fun because now they had lunch became a ceremonial occasion for the doctor and his staff. With 2 glasses of wine before and several during the meal, they started enjoying the wine that she. Oh, please do. Wine and eggs to the dog. We could hardly believe it when the daddy came to work final on his constitution. For a few nights, the fine spirit was born back in here and repented. He says, and she sent brandy. Oh, that would be good for him. make him, that will make him well quickly. So not very legal. Like when he sent when she sent Brandy, even that was not given to the dog. The doctor, his partner, and the staff enjoyed the night spirit. Spirit means the liquor. There were days of need for them, starting well with the extra egg in the morning, improved and sustained by the midday night and finishing luxuriously round iron with the bread. It was a temptation to keep the day on a permanent test, but I knew this is dominate was suffering, and after a fortnight, went company to call and tell her that the little dog had recovered was awaiting college. The food was tempting. She would sell eggs, she would sell wine, she would sell brandy. The staff and the doctor said should not leave this dog. इतना अच्छा खाना, इतना अच्छा वाइन मिल रहा है, इसको छोड़ते ही नहीं, इसको यहीं पे रखते. But then he knew that Mrs. Pumpkin was suffering without him. She was missing her dog, and after 15 days, after a fortnight, he gave all her up. That it's fine, and you can take him. Within minutes, about 30 feet of flaming black feather flew up outside the search. The shopper opened the door, and I could just make out the figure of his company, almost lost in the evening. Her hands were tightly clasped in front of her. Her lips trembled. Oh, Mr. Henry, do tell me, is he really better? Yes, he's fine. There is no need for you to get out of the car. I will go and fetch him. I walked through the house into the garden. A mass of dogs was running out and round the lawn and in the woods. Ears flapping, baby was the little golden figure of him. In 2 weeks, he had been transformed into a great, hard-muscled animal. He was keeping up well with the pack, stretching out in great bounds, his chest almost brushing the ground. So, she came to pick him up, and she was very happy. No, she was like sitting with her hands clasped. She asked him, is he really well? Yeah, he's very fine. Don't even get down from the car. I'll go and sit. So he went to the ground backyard. He saw that, in the lawn, this artist was this little golden figure who had nice shining hair. And in 2 weeks, he had been transformed. How had he become? He had now become a little hard muscled animal. But he had become nice, thin, active. One could see his muscle, the dog's muscles now. Because all day, what he did, 4 days, he did not eat anything. And then the whole day, he ran, jumped, played, chased other animals, other dogs. As a result, he had shared all his fat. And he was keeping up with the pack. He was running. When he saw, he was running with the pack of the dogs, running with other dogs, searching out in great bounds, stretching out. He was jumping, stretching, doing all kinds of, just enjoying. I carried him back along the passage to the front of the house. The chauffeur was still holding the car door open, and when he saw his mistress, he took her from my arms in a tremendous leap and sailed into Mrs. Pumphrey's lap. What was his reaction? He was very happy. The minute he saw his owner, he just jumped and landed on Mrs. Pumphrey's lap. She gave a smile. Oh, and then that told different herself as he swam over her, making her face and mouth. During the excitement, I helped the shopper to bring up the beds, toys, cushions, coats, and bowls, none of which had been used. As the car moved away, Mrs. Pumphrey leaned out of the window, tears showed in her eyes. The
that's true. Oh, yes, how can I ever thank? How can I ever thank? This is a triumph.
When he jumped on her lap, she didn't recognize him. They're like, oh, just started. Very fallen. And then when he started licking her, she realized it's no one else but her own dog. And she was very happy to see him there. And the doctor helped the doctor give like all the cushions, bowls, everything that was usually that was bought from his home. They sent it back. And they used it, and now it was used. He was never put a bowl, he was never given a bed, he was not was fed on one common bowl that the bowls that they used. And when the car started moving, Mrs. Tears in her eyes, tears shining in her eyes. How should I find? This was a plan for surgery. We must have charged her probably for surgery only, that because I kept your dog, I performed a surgery on him. You need to pay good amount. She probably paid a good amount to him. And he's spent anything for the dog. No. He charged her for surgery. Maybe for its stay. But in reality, he did nothing. In reality, he only made him run, play with other dogs, and gave him very little. That's all he did to recover. So this and but our this is completed what she was so grateful. Was it a triumph of surgery? Yes. मतलब आपकी सर्जरी तो बहुत सक्सेसफुल हुई ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बस सर्जरी की वजह से सर्जरी हुई तो हॉस्पिटल में उसने किया क्या उसके साथ उसको कुछ दवाई नहीं थी he did not give him any medication he just kept him there gave him very little food and exercise that's it so this is a kind of joke इसको लगा था कि इसने जो पांच पर मेहनत की in reality right so that is the story I'll just ask you open that note see there are there any objectives what time will you get up to come here
I do it. So like there was a part of mother's
yesterday your mother had a party at home
all the mothers of our we had a same culture of Korea people, my parents, they celebrated.
oh so in your complex there are many people from Odisha what's your last name
Dash.
Das
Dash.
Dash there are objectives that is solved or not solved no okay first let's let me ask you the question page 1 2 3 okay. Page 1 let me ask let's do these questions let's see first why is Mrs. Pumphrey worried about Vicky
Mrs. Company was worried about it because that was he was not being active. He was basically told of
And so we will say he was worried because she thought he was unwell and he had refused to eat food. And so here it is written no. Remember, she calls him again, the expected call came. So Mrs. Pumphrey was distraught. Distraught means very, very upset. She was upset because she thought he was unwell, because he was throwing up, and he refused to eat any food. And she thought that he had serious health issues like malnutrition, and therefore he had become listless. What does she do to help him? What does she do? She thinks he's listless. So what does she do to help him?
She started giving some little extra with the needles to build him up, some more, whole liver oil and a whole.
As she thought he does not have his malnutrition, she started giving extra snacks like is she wise in this? Is the narrator as rich as Tricky's mistress? How do you know? He's not.
So he was an ordinary. Oh, very.
You're talking about the doctor, the veterinarian. It's Harriet. Okay. Miss Harriet was a veterinary doctor and definitely not as rich as his mistress because he was fascinated by the things that the dog had. How does he treat the dog? How did he treat? How does he treat the dog? What did he do?
So, first of all, you can get a growth of 4 days, yes, and get trained for horses. Then after 4 days, he started to get trained of exercises and it. That's how it came. Right? First day for the day, this track was getting for Saturday, so they're getting for and after that.
Oh, gave him enough physical activity. Why was the doctor tempted to keep Ricky on a permanent basis?
Because their weight was added to extra eggs.
How and why?
When Mrs. Mumbai came to know that he has got a recovered like his recovering, so to build his energy, she started 2 dozen started sending 2 dozen eggs at a time, and the staff members and the doctor started taking 2 eggs extra
Instead of giving it to the dog, they started enjoying extra the 2 eggs during breakfast.
Then
She then
sends
sent
wine
to
purify
his blood. That too was enjoyed by the doctor. Finally came brandy, and none of these items were given to the dog, but enjoyed by the doctor and the staff. And therefore, they felt like keeping him as a guest for all the goodies that were sent by Mrs. Pumphrey. They thought that they should keep him as a permanent guest. What happened when the door was open? And I opened the door, we got it out. do you think would happen to Tricky after he went back to Mrs. Pumpkin?
He might have cut down this.
Think she would continue with that?
Seeing his vindication, what she might cut down. With her words.
Oh, but she never did that earlier, right? And see the things she would send to the doctor. You think she had realized? She had not. He did not realize, that array, he doesn't need so much food. Never realized only that she was overfeeding him and giving him very little exercise. So Tricky would have again become the same fat dog after going back. Because the dog doesn't know that array. Can't think, no, if he's given, he will eat. So you're as a master, you have to decide how much to give and how much exercise to give. So it is like if there are some parents, they think that अरे ज़्यादा खिलाओ मतलब अगर तुम ज़्यादा खिला रहे हो मतलब तुम्हारा ज़्यादा love your child more. That's not true, right? Your child also needs more exercise and activity. The same way this is. They think that if they feed him more, see you had a fish. You have specific hours. You can't just keep on feeding the fish. If you overfeed the fish, it will, what will it do? It will only spoil the water. It will only spoil the water. You will have to clean the water more often. And if you don't clean the water, they will die. So overfeeding is bad for everyone. So that is this. But इतना time हो गया, इतना time हो गया खाया ही नहीं है. So initially when you buy it for the first time, you have a fish tank for the first time. After it is your problem, and जाके थोड़ा खाना. So they come up and they keep tidy. But you feed them as often you feed them, that often they will eat. कभी खाना तुम डालो, उन्होंने देखा ही नहीं खाने को, ऐसे करके दिए. Because they don't realize that they're not supposed to eat. They should eat only twice a day or thrice a day. उनको concept नहीं है. So the Tricky would become the same fat, listless animal again once he goes back to Mrs. Pump. Don't you think? Did your teacher give you different questions on this? No? Okay. Show me a picture. Give that few questions. Yeah, I'll give you some questions. See, if I put 2 means it is for 2 marks. Okay, so you will write how many lines? 4. Okay, remember that basically. You have answers in this, can both of these answers are. Now, you should often mention this. When you are writing the first answer, you will start that Mrs. Pumphrey, his mistress, was a rich woman who overindulged her dog. Okay? So ये sentence याद रखना. जब भी whenever there is a question about Mrs. Pumphrey, you would write this line. Okay? Mrs. Pumphrey, a rich woman, pampered and overindulged her. ये एक sentence याद रखना. Whenever you are writing about Mrs. Pumphrey, you have to throw this. So how will you start this answer? Tell me. How will you write this answer? First answer.
First, we should ask about it because details to the system. But daily set twice.
Never start with the question. It was a temptation to keep Vicky as a permanent guest because no need. Directly answer लिखना चालू करो. Therefore, ये last में है. That is the easiest way. जब तुम start करते हो ना question से लिखना, then तुम्हारा sentence construction बहुत complicated होता है. Always remember, write short sentences, write simple language. So, what will be your first line?
Triggers owner. This is something you just said.
First, she was, as I said, Annette was a rich lady. Second sentence, she pampered and overindulged her dog. Good stop. Then Vicky was where was Vicky? Okay, where Vicky was with Dr. Harriet in his surgery. She would send
Two dozens of
plenty of gifts, but plenty of food items and drinks. Good stop. Then write mention करना food items and drinks. Then write कि क्या क्या भेजो. She would send 2 dozens of eggs every day, wine, and even wine to purify his blood, and brandy for better health. Instead of giving these things to the dog, the doctor and the staff enjoyed the luxury of good food. Do you remember? Should I dictate? You will write it. लेकिन समझा ना? Therefore, then that question. you write the second answer also? Okay. Finish? Will you tell me what you have written?
Mrs. Company was a rich woman and she pampered and overindulged her dog. When Mickey was with Dr. Cricket at his surgery, she would send him plenty of nice food and drinks. It would include two dozens of eggs to fuel up his energy, wine to purify his blood, and that. This was not given to the dog, but the doctor and his staff would have a delicious time and do those food items and nuts. Therefore, it was a temptation.
Very good. Wrote very well. Very good job. Good job. Very good. Now second one. Why did Mrs. Pumphrey make a frantic call to Mr. Harry? अभी याद रखना ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सेंटेंस मिसेस पंपनी का नाम आया नहीं कि ये लिखना है ओके सो स्टैंडर्ड सेंटेंसेस ध्यान में रखना सो यू डोंट हैव टू रिमेंबर अ लॉट और आंसर का वैल्यू भी बढ़ जाता है ओ शी हैज फर्स्ट लाइन ही अच्छा लिखा ओवर इंटेलिजेंट पैम्पर्ड ये सारे वर्ड्स ना टीचर्स को अच्छे लगते ओके सो why did Mrs. Pumphrey make a frantic call to Mr. Harry?
Mrs. Pumpkin was a rich woman. She had pampered and overindulged her dog a lot.
A dog, Ricky.
A dog.
She had, what had she done? She would
think that he was malnutrition and he was
overfeed him.
he would overfeed him.
Yeah, she would overfeed him.
She would give extra minutes to him like cold liver oil.
Cod liver oil, malt, and hormones. As a result,
That Ricky was a bloated sausage.
looked like a bloated sausage. Okay, and very little exercise. वो भी आता है. And would be very, but give would be very little. As a result, they become like a bloated sausage. One day, what happened?
He started to vomit.
He started vomiting and refused to eat food.
Mr. Neil would on
Yes, and really, was he breathing heavily? Something like that.
good thought.
Humphrey was distraught. Ricky would eat curry. Ricky refused to eat. He was vomiting. Yeah, and spent whole day lying. Spent all his time lying on a rug, panting. And therefore, Mrs. Pumphrey made a frantic call. Next, why did Mrs. Let's discuss two answers and then you. How did Mrs. Pumphrey keep her dog? How did she add to his problems?
Mrs. Pumpkin against
Yeah, very good. Same answer है. Same answer. उसने क्या क्या खिला रही थी? Would not give her any exercise.
he would have a whole water.
Yes. और क्या क्या
Favorite cushions, his favorite night bed. His mother would keep hours for them. Breakfast bowel, lunch bowel, and supper
Not bad.
would have a wardrobe of sports for summer.
Yeah, he had coats and as well as raincoats for winter. Coats for winter plus raincoats. Different bowls, beds, toys.
Rubber,
Yeah. Rubber toys and favorite cushions. How did she add to his problems?
she would overfill them with everything.
As a result,
But we had taken like a progress on stage.
Yeah. as a result, he had fallen ill. ये दो answers. That will discuss later. in answer? Okay. 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 contributing yourself to the person. Last question. What kind of a person do you think Mr. Harriet, the veterinary surgeon, is? For veterinary surgeon, you will always use this line. That he was a tactful man with common sense. Okay? What will you say about this? He had often told Mrs. Pumphrey to cut down Ricky's food and give him more exercise. But when Mrs. Pumphrey failed to do that, he decided to take Ricky to his surgeon. He told, what did he tell Mrs. Pumphrey? That he needs to perform surgery on promise. He told Mrs. Pumphrey that he needs to perform surgery and needs to be admitted. That Ricky needs to be admitted for a fortnight for a surgery. For a surgery, right? What did he do there? Instead of performing or giving him any medical treatment,
Give him a friend, and give
for 4 days, give plenty of water. Then
he gave a lot of exercises and would
he
be
let him go out with all the other dogs, play, chase them, and gave him plenty of physical activity. Thus gave him plenty of physical activity. Gave, at the same time, gave him only enough food required for him. So you can say just a bowl full of food for him. For him. Thus, in 15 days, without any medical treatment, managed to cure Ricky as Ricky lost all the extra fat and became with an muscled dog. Recall it? And all these things, not everything, all these things made. Now, will you be able to write the last answer? Good job. We write good. We write well. here you started with was now. Then beach meaning he keeps him for a fortnight period. He kept. Everything should be in one tense. Okay. Gave him. Oh. Then he allowed Tricky to run around. The other. Then he opened. What did he open? Okay. So he allowed Tricky to run around with other dog. That will be better. Without any medical treatment. Thus, he made him live and muscle dog without any medical treatment and only by giving him. That is a very important sentence. Without any medical treatment and only by giving him. याद रखना ये सेंटेंस बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है जो only by giving him plenty of physical exercise and score only that much better than you. Test all this. Next week we'll do words. Yes, those words and we will be analysis. That is also there for you. Hi, where are your friends? Not come yet. Or should we go ahead with, or should we give them some time? Good morning. Good morning. You were wondering whether we should give you some time or. Yeah, every time we can't go inside. Yes. Stay close by. Yes. We come together. Yes. The rickshaw or by this? यार क्या किया था लास्ट talking about this there was this Mrs. Packleton, right? Yes. And then what were the characters? Luna Bimborton. Okay, that's right. That's right. One was Mrs. Packletide. Another one, Luna Bimborton. And then Miss Webin. Villagers. Is it BIN or BBIN? BBIN. These are three main characters. Okay. Now, very little role for Luna Bimber, but the whole thing is happening because of her. Okay. What kind of relationship these two had? Friendship. But it is a pattern for jealous of Luna Bimber. So there was strong jealousy, probably between both of them. Not just Mrs. Packletide. Probably the feelings were mutual, we'll come to know. What had happened to Luna Bimberton? She killed a tiger. Okay. Tigers. And at the same time, she had 11 miles on an jet with an Algerian aviator. Okay. So, in a jet with the aviator, Algerian aviator, and had managed to procure a tiger skin for herself by hunting it. Okay. And as a result, her pictures were all over the news, were everywhere in the newspaper. Mrs. Packletide also saw those and jealous, very jealous. And she said, "अरे इसका हो सकता है तो मेरा क्यों नहीं?" You know, ये क्या है? Nale, what? How great she is? Not very great. Even what was her dream? To get a tiger. Okay, and to outshine. How? By giving her the tiger's club brooch. Okay, tiger club brooch for her birthday, and on her birthday she would show everyone the tiger skin. She wanted to give a party in her house on Curzon Street. She wanted to invite everyone in her whose honor the party was going to be in Luna Bimberton. She wanted to call everyone to her house, and what did she want to show? The tiger skin rug. And then everyone will talk about not Luna Bimberton. Party to Luna Bimberton ke liye hai, but everyone will talk about the tiger skin and Mrs. Packletide, how she killed her tiger. And for that, what did she do? She hired Miss Webin. Hired Miss Webin first? No. She had given 1,000 rupees to the villagers for to capture an old tiger, which is okay. Not to capture, but to identify, scout, that's a better word. To scout or identify an old tiger. He didn't want to run about hunting. इतना adventure नहीं चाहिए था. So she had asked them to scout for an old tiger. Accordingly, a day was set. She went, everything on the platform was kept set on the key, and Mrs. Packletide went there alone.
No, Miss Pepper.
Who was Miss Neville? A paid companion. What would you say about Miss Neville?
She was very shallow.
She was very chalak. She was very okay.
Money-minded.
She was very particular about her money. She was money minded, and she had taken the role of big sister for many in saving their money. Okay. So she had gone on trip as paid companion to Russia, where she managed to save their rubles. When she went as a paid companion with others on to Paris, she managed to save some francs and money. So everywhere, wherever she was taken as a paid companion, she managed to save their money. Here also. How did she try to save her money?
By asking for
But that it was very hard job. It was an easier job compared to the other ones, and $1,000 was not worth.
Okay, she said that the tiger was old. $1,000 was a bit too much for the old tiger. The tiger was sick, probably, and therefore $1,000 was 1,000 rupees. 1,000 rupees was too much. She wanted Mrs. Packletide to pay less than 1,000 because the tiger was old. Then
she acted nervous.
she acted nervous, yes, thinking that the job was very difficult. Then did we reach till there where she said, if the dog does not hurt the goat, we don't have to, let's not pay for the goat. Did we reach the whole thing?
No.
Yeah. Now, I think later on page 17, the rifle flashed out.
Yes. Yes.
Paragraph 12. So now we know Mrs. Packletide, jealous. Luna Burton, we don't know much about how she felt, but I think she was equally jealous of Packletide. Mrs. Neville, money. Remember these descriptions. Jealous, money. So the setting is there. They're sitting on the tree. The tiger has come. The boat is bleating loudly. But the tiger is too old. Instead of jumping on it, he just lays down on the floor and waits for some time. And then he gets up and he is about to jump. When Mrs. Packletide is all set there now, सबको लिखेगा ऐसा डन रखा होगा. Set and what?
The record judge around. And if we create
Tony
reach and to one side, and then we will in the stillness of the movement of a crowd of excited people, swarm of people. And they are shouting in speed and carrying the fragments to the village, where coming of from the
Counting of sometimes.
compounds took up the chorus of
Right.
rhyme. And that land and rejoicing found a daily echo in the heart of Mrs. Packletide. Already that lunch on party in Cousin Street in immeasurable New York.
Okay. So what happened? The flashed out and louder. She started rifle. Was a loud report means loud sound. The loud sound when she fired it. The great Tommy bees, this our tiger, sprang to one side. फिर धीरे धीरे आ था वो पकड़ने के लिए गोल को. Suddenly he shot. It just sprang on the other side instead of going for it sprang on the other side. It rolled it and fell still. And he was just still there. All the villagers were waiting there in the bushes. They all came cheering, started banging the thali, plates and making a lot of noise. And all this noise, the tom-toms, the news reached the village. And the villagers were also very happy. Were they happy that she managed to kill the tiger? More than that, they were happy because they would get 10,000 rupees. They were happy, villagers were happy for 1,000 rupees. Madam was happy that she has finally killed the tiger. Now the party okay. You could see the party at her cousin's street house very near. So she had different things going on in her. Everybody was happy. Yeah.
It was lunar.
Ureza mentioned.
Who drew attention to the fact that the floor was in depth.
Toes.
Those from a moderate bullet wound, while no trace of the arrival's deadly work could be found on the island. Evidently, the wrong element in the list of failure has
Sakram.
at failure.
Cause
By the sudden report of the rifle, accelerated by
a nine. Okay, so what had happened? Mrs. Medina, Mrs. Medina was very sharp. She was the one who found out. What did she find out?
Was
The bullet which should have killed the tiger had actually killed the goat. Itna acha aim kam Mrs. Paradise. Wanted to kill the tiger, but killed the goat. So the goat was killed by the bullet. And how did our tiger die?
heartbreak.
Actually, वो आवाज सुन के this old senile is old. This senile old tiger had a heart failure hearing the sound of the gun. Isn't he jumped and fell and rolled and died not because he was hit. It died because it had a heart failure. डर के मारे बेचारे का heart failure हो गया आवाज सुन के.
Mrs. Paradise was
Ordinarily annoyed.
discovery, but at any rate was the possessor of a dead tiger,
Possessor.
possessor of a dead tiger, and the deliver, and she for their 1,000 rupees, gladly conveyed the fiction that she has shot.
Okay. This is second time when she found out that she realized that what Mrs. Meredith has found out, she was really upset. इसको कैसे ये कहाँ से उसने नहीं I did that she did not kill the tiger, she killed the goat and the tiger died of heart failure. But the villagers were also happy. And they were like, oh, madam, आपने क्या गोली मारी आपने क्या hunting kill? They cooked up. It is said that whatever said and done, she was the possessor of the dead animal. The villagers, they wanted the 1,000 rupees and they connived with the fiction. उन्होंने भी story cook कर दी. Connive means cook the story. Fiction story. Fiction, something that is not true. They also made up a story that madam has killed the tiger. Hey, madam ने tiger को मार दिया. They spread the news everywhere. Why? Because they could get the continue.
That one is a basic cameras with white house and her picture It is of this snatch. To be illustrated Monday, supplement of
no, very.
and as for Luna Vivian, she refused to look at the illustrated paper for weeks and a letter of thanks for the gift of the tiger claw brooch was in order of impressed emotion. The luncheon party she declined. There are limits beyond which request. Okay.
क्या हुआ? What is when this hunting? This hunter spreading the news of her how she killed. She also went, and this is that it was a paid companion. You don't pay for it. Then क्या हुआ? मैंने तो कुछ देखा ही नहीं. She was paid. She was a paid companion. ऐसा नहीं. So this is Saturday also click many pictures and all the possible newspapers. Luna will be working. You need to look at the thing for at least for a week. This is because even she did not want to see Mrs. Packard's photograph and how she has killed the tiger. Mrs. Packard has decided to send a gift made of tiger blood. Now, when somebody sends you a gift as a good gesture, you have to write a note of thanks, right? Mrs. Packard also organized the party. Did Luna go to the party? She did not. Because she wrote thanks with repressed emotions. It's the jealousy को दाग दिया, repressed her jealousy and wrote thank you for your kind heart that you sent to the लेकिन खुद जाके उसके सामने इतने प्यार से बात करना was difficult for me. Because she says that the laugh has repressed emotions. Beyond, there are limits beyond which repressed emotions become dangerous. Means the limit to which you can be fake and sweet to someone. Then you don't imagine you hate me and you have to come and talk nicely to me. थोड़ा जब तक दूर है, you can do that when you, as long as you don't have to look at it, then you don't have to see her face. लिख दिया, दूर से letter. सामने आके इसके सामने आके प्यार से बात करना difficult है. You never know it. They might end up fighting there.
How amused everyone would be who would really have excelled
Example.
A few days after the war. What do you mean? Ask this appetite.
This is faculty.
This is faculty. How you shot the goal and tried to silence and misspell it. Then disagreeability doesn't down. No one would believe it. Then the missed appetite. Her face changed color as rapid as her head was going to a book of patterns. The no post right. Another note in Gordon Road, and his letter. His pattern died pages letter on hand and becoming shade of
Greenish white. What happened? What happened now? One day, what did Louisa Levin say a few days later? See, our Mrs. Packard was riding the wave of places. She was very happy. She had also cared. She wanted to throw the party. She threw the party. She made Luna Biverton jealous by taking pictures and sending her brooch. All that she wanted to do, she achieved. Then after a few days, what did Miss Levin say?
said that like should the people actually look at the president tiger, not actually use it the tiger, but the tiger died in the mud.
How amused, सबको कितना मजा आएगा ना? How amused everyone will be if they come to know that you killed a goat instead of a tiger. And the expressions on Mrs. Valentine's face, she didn't want people to know that she killed a goat instead of a tiger. Nobody will believe. Luna Bimbad and Wood, because but both of them hated each other. Luna Bimbad and Wood, if I tell her, she would definitely believe and she would spread the news everywhere. Yeah, continue.
Sure, you couldn't give me away. She asked. I've seen a week and college near Dhaka that I should rather like to buy. That means 11. It's really irrelevant. 680. Behold, quite a bargain. Only I don't happen to have the Louisa Lemon, 20 and college. Christian by her let's always and gay in summertime with its garden borders of tiger lilies is the wonder and the admiration, admiration of a friend. It is a marvel how Louisa managed to do his general verdict. Miss Packletide indulges in no more midnight big game shooting. The incidental expenses are so heavy. And finds requiring friends.
Understood what happened?
Yes.
Mrs. Neville said, how interesting, how confused everyone would be if they come to know that you shot the board instead of pattern. I said, sure you won't give me away. Sure you won't go and to be eager to give out someone away means to go and tell their secret to others. What was Miss Levin's reaction? Did she say no, I won't tell anyone?
No, she asked her how she
And she just started talking about a weekend cottage near Darwin. Oh, I've seen this weekend cottage near Darwin. It's not very expensive. It's a very good bargain. It's only for 680. 680. I think after a few days, Louisa Melvin now holds, tell the story, is Louisa Melvin now holds a very nice weekend cottage. She has nice tiger lilies bordering the cottage. And what has she named her cottage? Les Fawns. Les Fawns means the wild animals. In English, it means the wild animals. She has named her cottage the wild animals. And everybody admires. Wow, what a nice fish. This Neville, you don't know how she manages to do it. How did she manage to get such a nice cottage for herself? These are expensive. How does she have so much money to buy a cottage like this? That's and her friends, they are all jealous of her that she has such a they admire her. They don't know whether it's jealous, but they admire how she managed. Mrs. Packletide, does she go on big game shooting? Big game shooting means hunting?
No.
Why doesn't she hunt nowadays?
Because she's scared that someone would actually.
Secondary expenses, she says that the incidental expenses are very heavy. The secondary expenses are very heavy. So what was the secondary expense? The weekend house service then cover up her flaw that she had killed the goat instead of the tiger. Never a great hunter, just never a hunter. How do you find the story?
Nice, amazing,
Right? Amazing jealousy. And who took the advantage of that? Miss Nevin. She took the advantage of that. And even the villagers, they earn 1,000 rupees. And the story is sometime, written sometime in the 1890s or 1902 or 5. Then 1,000 rupees was a big amount for India at that time. So 1,000 rupees then is like 5 lakh to 10 lakh today's amount. She gave a huge amount to these villagers. The villagers there, they were very, very happy. In those days, like for a common man, the salary was 50 a month. They get 1,000. Let's write few questions. You want to these answers first?
Yes.
You should bring the notebook.
No, ma'am.
What?
I was in English.
Where do you plan to write now? Textbook. You write all the answers in the textbook.
The questions. Answers for preparation.
You have to write the answers now only. They just do. In the meantime, we solve the question to try to keep the extract. Yes.
Hey, Rahul. Happy birthday. Yeah, birthday.
Okay.
Question 4, right?
1 minute, I'll give you few questions. Two mark questions, okay? So you can't write the answers in one line. You will write it at least in 3 to 4 lines. First, let's discuss the answers and then you write. Okay? First one, why did Mrs. Packletide want to kill a tiger?
Because
Never start with because, huh?
if Mrs. Packletide wanted to kill a tiger because a friend who
Now, see, remember, whenever you start with Mrs. Packletide wanted to kill a tiger because, and you start writing, you make a very long sentence. So the question should be therefore at the end, Mrs. Packletide. That's an easy way of writing the answer. Obviously, there are the answers start with teacher gets started with because you also because she he on writing lengthy sentences. So what will you say first point? Directly come to the point.
her friend
Who's her?
Mrs.
Mrs. Packletide
Packletide friend Luna Important killed the tiger
Had killed the
had
tiger.
killed the tiger and Miss Packletide was jealous of her. She wanted to kill a tiger too because she thought it was a
Okay, very good. Good answer. So Mrs. Packletide's friend Luna Important had managed to procure the tiger's skin. And kill the tiger and procure the tiger's skin. Her photos were, her pictures were seen in all the major newspapers. As a result, Mrs. Packletide was jealous of Important's popularity, and therefore she also wanted to kill a tiger as she thought that it was a easy task. That's a nice good statement. Will you write on your own? I hope I don't have to dictate, right? The write the points. Will you remember? Good Burton managed to procure tiger skin. Her pictures were in the newspaper. Mrs. Packletide was jealous of her popularity. Remember these words. Jealous, not jealous of her, jealous of her popularity.
We should say that she traveled where the world is.
She had traveled through random place.
Now, the photo with the tiger skin was all around the newspaper.
And with this answer. Next. Why does it tell, what does it tell about Mrs. Packard?
That she was quite jealous of Luna Converted, and she also wanted to be popular as Luna Converted had been.
What does it tell about Mrs. Packard? She was a jealous woman. She wanted to make her she was, and for that, she was ready to spend money and a huge amount, like 1,000 rupees to
To the villagers
in order to compete with Luna Converted to kill a tiger. To kill a tiger and become as for.
she was a jealous person.
Okay.
She wanted to make up and Luna Converted jealous by killing the tiger. And she spent a lot of money.
For that, she was ready to spend a huge amount of like 1,000 rupees.
To the villagers and her mating companion, Louisa.
Very.
And she wanted to get popular.
In order to,
No,
in order to make
more dangerous.
what do you write?
Miss Packard and was very jealous. to make a very Luna and water together, she was ready to kill a tiger and pretend with the water like 1,000 rupees to the villagers and the king companion, Luna and they, and she also wanted to become a
Okay, and show off, in order to show off, she also gifted, she also wanted to give the tiger claw coach to. We can say that, last line, right, that she was, that this shows us that Mrs. Packard was greedy and pretentious. Correct. Are you gonna greedy?
Yes.
Pretentious. Greedy, yeah. Yeah, greedy for fame and pretentious. Pretentious and greedy for fame. This shows us that Mrs. Packard was pretentious and hungry for fame. Fame. Something that she is not. She was not fond of. See, who will you give anything as something as precious as tiger claw? Someone who you love. जिससे गुस्सा आता है उसको नहीं तुम दोगे ना? She pretended, oh, I'm so fond of you now. I'm gifting you the tiger claw food. It was not for because she liked her, and it was more for jealousy. Her बार देखी this is Saturday क्या है? She was pretentious and hungry for popularity or for fame. Yash, will you tell me the next answer?
That we offered during the 1,000 rupees.
Okay. I said two mark.
Mrs. Packardine had offered the villagers to give them 1,000 rupees.
First, what did Mrs. Packard want?
A tiger.
Wanted to kill a tiger. Okay. Was she a hunter?
No.
So wanted to kill a tiger. Full stop. But she was not a hunter and she wanted a tiger without much efforts. Okay. That is the second. For that, what did she offer? 1,000 rupees. She offered 1,000 rupees to the villagers.
To scout around for a tiger. Old
Scout?
tiger.
To scout an old tiger. Why?
Because she
So that they become a
Easy
easy target. Okay, so first, what Mrs. Packard wanted to do, and what she was not a hunter, and she was not an experienced hunter.
scout around where?
No, just to scout for an old tiger. so that it becomes a easy target. Done?
Yes.
Done? So tell me the next answer.
Was Louisa membrane?
A bit over. Hotter.
Elder sister was
Okay, what was her money? She was she was very miserly person when it came to money, and did not spend, uh, refused to spend too much of it. Okay, कुछ समझा, ध्यान दे रहे हो? And and therefore she always tried to save others' money whenever possible. Okay, so what will you say? She was a okay. What was her attitude towards money?
Yes.
She was a miser. She was, you can see. Will it be easy to say that she did not like to spend too much of money and she tried to save it whenever possible? Even with, even with Mrs. Packardine, she took up a protective elder sisterly attitude and tried to save her money during the month. Couldn't do it, but repeat the words.
She was a great companion, and her attitude towards money was distant.
She was a miser. She was a miser.
Miser.
She did not like to spend
Money,
Money.
and she
she
tried to
always tried
save
to
where it was possible.
money wherever it was possible.
She took the attitude of a protected elderly sister was Mrs. Hamilton.
When
Money.
started there and tried to save her money during the hunting accession. Okay. Very good. Now right. So now.
Mom always had word mindset, but she was biased toward money.
She was a miser. Or she was a stingy person. MRSER.
she saved a lot of money and tried to try to
Try to save money whenever possible.
Recently, was a bit, she doesn't know, but she saved a lot of money possible.
Even for others. Done?
Yes.
Done? Mrs. Packletide was a good shot distance. Good shot means she's a good hunter.
No, that was sarcasm.
Yes, she was a good shot in making Luna jealous and a failed shooter of the tiger. I'm sorry, failed shooting the tiger. And she was a good shot in making Luna jealous.
Yeah, we will talk about
Tiger
shooting.
Yes, so the sentence was in sarcasm because Luna and Barkley. This is Apple Light was did not shoot the tiger. He said she shot the bird, but the tiger and because of the hard failure directly got shot.
Yes. So Mrs. Packletide wanted to kill the tiger, not for her own pleasure, but to make Luna Bilberton jealous. She had already given $1,000 to the villagers who scout for an old tiger so that the hunt becomes easy. She was not an experienced hunter. Okay. Mrs. Packletide was a good shot is a sarcastic statement. Instead of during the hunt, instead of shooting the tiger, she shot the goat. The tiger died due to the heart failure due to the heart. नहीं तो पहले ये लिखना और उसके बाद एंड में लिखना Mrs. Packardite was a good shot. This is a and therefore Mrs. Packardite was a good shot. This is a sentence. समझ में आएगा? क्या क्या लिखोगे?
Mrs. Packardite wanted to kill a tiger. She was
Not for pleasure, but to
show to make a reference.
yes. Then
She was not
a good. Okay, she was not an experienced.
hunter. She tried. She wanted to kill the tiger,
That's
but
she gave.
accidentally killed the.
So she gave her please. Or tiger. So that so the hunt becomes easy. Then
She
during the
shooting. When she tried to shoot the tiger, she accidentally shot the bird, but the tiger still died due to the heart.
so that's the faculty was a good shot. This is a sarcastic statement. What do you do when you get out of these calls? Most of these calls are let's wait for her to finish. In the meantime, I don't. No trouble him. Done? Tell me the last answer now. How did Miss Bevan manage to get a weekend cottage? Yes. Abhi now Sara starting. This is a big answer. Then how will you start?
Mrs. Patel died, and shot the goat, and the tiger had died because of
Then who was this? Miss Bevan had been
A
his
great
paradise great companion during the hunt. Okay. This is pattern. इसके पहले you will write why did Mrs. Packardine want to kill a tiger? Okay. Mrs. Packardine wanted to kill a tiger not for pleasure but to make Luna Wilburton jealous. Mrs. Neville was Mrs. Packardine's a companion during the hunt. There she discovered that Mrs. Packardine had actually killed the goat and not the tiger. Tiger died up to heart pain. Miss Neville then tried to blackmail Mrs. Packardine, saying she would reveal the information to Luna Wilbur. Or keep her mouth shut, or to in order to you can say to keep her mouth shut, or to so that Miss Neville does not reveal the information for this. Keep her mouth shut. She agreed. Mrs. Packardine agreed to give a weekend cottage worth 600 and how many rupees? 680.
Yeah, but we don't know whether it is rupees or what,
But yeah, 680. Thus, this woman managed to get the weekend cottage. And why did she put the tiger lilies around it? She planted tiger lilies.
she could remember that she got this was because of her friend.
Yes, she could buy this house. She could get this house because of a tiger hunt gone wrong. But this because of the to mention Mrs. Neville, sorry, blackmailed her.
Now, what did she ask for? What kind of content?
Weekend college. Worth 600 and
18 rupees.
the remaining few answers we'll discuss. Not.
What should we write? If we can write.
Let's write 680. Because here also it is only written 680. I don't mention with the power. And write this Smithon manipulated
This happened like to get
by
kind of.
blackmail is the easy one.
Is manipulated to make a number still without any reason.
लेकिन manipulate तो reason के लिए ही करते हो ना. He did manipulate. Blackmail is another word. कर नहीं तो बोलूँगी. इसने actually manipulate किया. हाँ पता है क्या मुझे चाहिए. तो बोला नहीं directly मुझे this one. Directly नहीं बोला. तो बहुत. You like that. Go with the easy words than the difficult ones. Always remember. Easy, write simple. Then you make less mistakes.
What should we say? She can't ever leave.
There is this question, has this doesn't have, but in the textbook. This does. Done? Done? Okay. Open to page number 20. So we discuss that. The incidental expenses are so heavy, she confides to inquiring friends. Who is the speaker?
Where?
Question AH on page 20. First question. Who is the speaker?
This level.
Since then it says incidental.
No, Mrs. Packard.
Yeah.
But why would she say to her friends?
When her friends ask, why don't you go for hunting anymore? That time she says, oh, the incidental expenses are so heavy. Who is the speaker? Who saying this? This is Packard. What is she referring to now?
That the weekend for which she bought.
Yes. So the secondary expenses mentioned here are the weekend cotton. We can write it in the textbook itself. Just like in the text. The weekend cottage she had to purchase for Miss Neville in order to keep her secret. In order to keep her secret. See, now it depends. If this question comes for 2 marks, itna chota सा answer. If this question comes for 4 marks or 3 marks, तो तुम पूरी history लिखोगे. This is faculty I wanted to handle.
जो भी है क्वेश्चन
हाँ?
क्वेश्चन जो भी लिखोगे
हाँ, अब तक जो लिखा है, same. Okay, that she wanted to make a journal.
she was blackmailed.
Then Kevin was taken as a paid companion, but she hunted the. She was not an experienced hunter. She hunted the goat instead of tiger. So Miss Neville, in order to keep the secret, Miss Neville demanded
A weekend cottage.
that she had to pay extra 680 to keep Miss Neville happy. It's very good. It depends. कितने marks का है उसके ऊपर ये depend करेगा. That's why I'm not asking you to write because we have written the story too many times. Will you remember?
Yes.
Yes, कुछ याद रहा रहेगा? क्या कहा?
ये पूरा स्टोरी
If it is for 3 marks or 4 marks. If it is for 2 marks, then only do the one. Do you think tiger shooting organized by the villagers was a serious affair? Give reasons to your answer.
Yes, okay, not one.
Was it really done a seriously thing? Is it a serious affair? You know, when the hunters go on a hunt, it's a serious affair that we make a lot of efforts. They, as I told you, the clothes they wear, we hide in those trees. There's always a platform, but then they hide in the trees. Nothing is seen. There is always a threat. What if there are snakes on the tree? They have to be very, very alert. So they have those tiny, so they have to be very alert. It's a serious affair. And then they hide and then they try to catch. So you think when this faculty went, was it a serious affair?
Yes, yes.
No. How do you say? Why do you say no?
First we had
Tags with her. And then
for villagers it was serious.
Because they were getting consequences.
yeah, but they for them also they also knew a Buddha if to a very animal. Okay, so for
कोई बच्चा कोई बेटा नहीं
was it a serious affair for the village? So you write it in both terms. The fighter shooting organized by the villagers was a so tiger shooting was a serious affair for the villagers. They were given 1,000 rupees to scout for an old tiger. And what did they do? And therefore they had sent out the children so that the tiger gets to hunt for to scout for the old tiger. Then, but for Mrs. Packardite, it was not a serious affair. The platform was raised on the tree, and Mrs. Packardite sat there with a paid companion, and she also had the cards to pass the time. The gun was the gun was easily visible to everyone. She was not hiding as such. I don't like that. For villagers, it wasn't because they were getting thousands, but for do you think the writer is trying to make fun of them? Okay, read the third question.
Person who is being full of self-importance and only person and can go to great lengths to inform her spirituality. Do you think this appetite is great? Is Lisa in support of the answer? Yes, she is. Because she wanted to kill a tiger to
Not for her own pleasure, but
to gain popularity and to make her friend jealous and have a more superior level compared to another content.
it's
Because she killed the tiger before and she is in the news now. And
She had traveled here. She did.
so first tell what we do. Okay, now again this question comes for 4 marks. So what will you write? This Luna Bigotin had become popular of killing a tiger and procuring the tiger's. This factor type, who wanted to kill the tiger, not for her own pleasure, but to make her friend Luna Bigotin jealous. She too wanted her pictures in the newspaper and become popular like Luna Bigotin. Then Puri story fills in. I'm telling you, later I'm not asking you to write because you have already written. But we are discussing how she went to, how she offered 1,000 rupees to hunt for, to scout for old tiger. Then she also had a paid companion, Miss Bevin, so that she becomes a witness. So that she becomes a witness to the hunting. Then she when she kills the tiger, when she manages to possess the tiger, she too gets her pictures clipped in the newspaper. And then to keep her secret, she pays further 680 rupees to Miss Mevin to keep her secret. So yes, she was a vain person just to get self-importance and to gain to feel superior, to prove her superiority. She ends up spending
1,680.
a huge amount of money and kill an innocent tiger. Right? And ends up killing an innocent tiger. किसी को they don't even think that she'll be killing an innocent tiger.
अब वैसे उसने थोड़ी ना मारा
लेकिन
तो खुद मरा
और थोड़े दिन जी लेता ना बेचारा अगर ये वो स्टार्ट नहीं करती. Do you remember? Okay, because these kind of questions are the long ones, long detailed answers. Few sentences here and then you will need to check. याद रहेगा? Okay. Do you think silent figure of Luna Bimbad? Just read these questions. I think we have written. Is there anything that you would like to discuss? Question 4. है कुछ जो जिसका आंसर नहीं आएगा? What will you say about the behavior of villagers?
Because of the money they were happy. Then if they were they scouted the tiger.
Yes.
Then they got the 1,000 rupees
Yes.
and then they celebrated along.
And they also
We
they also connived a fiction that though Mrs. Valentine had not killed the tiger, they connived the fiction or they made up a story. If you can't remember, if you remember, connived the fiction well and good. Remember this word. They connived a fiction that this faculty had killed that particular. Okay, remember what is the word? Connive the fiction or story. Connive the story that this faculty had killed that. Okay. All this just to gain 10,000 rupees. Villagers. That's
each one of them got something.
ये भाई इतना अमीर होती तो वो
each one did not. कि एक पूरा cottage, weekend cottage, 680 rupees में आ रहा था.
बोल लगा कि अरे बाप रे
और 1,000 rupees was for the entire village. तो जो भी कोई है सबको village के लिए तो तुम खुद भी बना दो या खरीद. तो कट का 10 मिला तो किसको नहीं चाहिए? So remember these words also: vain, jealous, stingy, shrewd, spiteful. Okay, yes.
Do you think the writer is trying to make fun of the presentation?
Yes, he is. He's trying to make fun of everyone.
But I didn't understand why is he making fun of me. How is he making?
Miss Neville, fun मतलब कैसे चाल? She's trying to tell us how cunning she is, Miss Neville. The cunning woman. He's trying to tell us how cunning Miss Neville is. She's very shrewd. S-H-R-E-W-D. Cunning and shrewd. S-H-R-E-W-D. Miss Neville is a very cunning. He's trying to tell us she's a very cunning and shrewd woman. She does not blurt out immediately. वो उसके साथ रहती है. She sees that she has not killed the tiger. She remains quiet. She lets her become popular. She lets her throw the party. And after that, she tells me how fun it will be if others come to know. Yeah. एक बार पॉपुलर होने के बाद क्या कहते हैं हम लोग इज्जत का कचरा कचरा हो जाता है ना. पॉपुलैरिटी मिलने के बाद सब यार ये इसको ठीक था सर. She was a very shrewd, manipulative.
And what about Mrs. Patel?
Mrs. Patel, yes, he's trying to make कि कैसे उल्लू बनाना Mrs. Patel और लोग Yeah, Luna Burton. To get jealous. Luna Burton won't a lot of thanks, but couldn't go for her partner. तो ज़्यादा ही हो जाता.
Without birthday girl, it's a birthday party.
No. She did not call her for her birthday.
हमें चलने लग रहा है.
She did not call her for her birthday. She gave the party in her honor. मतलब अरे लूना बर्टन ने क्या अचीव किया है उसको सबको बुलाना था. खुद का अचीवमेंट ही नहीं मिला होगा. Called everyone for the party and gave a gift to Luna for her birthday. ये दो अलग बात है. लेकिन किस लिए jealous बनाने करने के लिए? इसके लिए पैसा खर्च करने से अच्छा you can use it for something else, no?
1000 रुपए में आज लाख.
आज बहुत कम हो सकता है. उस जमाने में बहुत कुछ हो सकता. I think that's all for our lesson today. Most of it is done. Do we still have time? How much more time do we have? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. Then I think we can have. Is there any doubt? बहुत ज़्यादा रिपीट कर दिया हम लोगों ने आंसर. By heart होने चाहिए यहीं पे. I hope the answers you should kind of learn the answers in the class there. What? How much have they finished in school?
First 2 chapters and 1 poem.
Next time. First poem, right?
And yes.
And then night again.
Have they told you when you will have your first unit test?
July, June end.
And what will be the question?
This I
Or might be one more.
That's the chapter of the.
The next few lessons are very lengthy. They will take
Now,
time.
what is about ghost?
The shading block. Moon's job.
So what will you do now after going home?
Then
Like what?
you check in it.
लेकिन अभी पहले तो वही होगा.
What the? Either those.
So what will you play? Cricket. Oh, and cricket. Both of you. You stay in same complex.
Yes.
Building. Good, in spite of having just a one building, you have so many friends. Enjoy. See you next week.